our spirit. What is it? Where does it go? Are we able to see them using our mind's eye? If so, just what can spirit teach us? Welcome to School Through Spirit. Host DeEtte Ranae is a certified psychic medium and master teacher of psychic and mediumship development through LWISSD. DeEtte was born knowing spirit and now is here to help you better understand the spirit world. And now your host, DeEtte Ranae.
Good Monday morning, everybody. Welcome. This is DeEtte Ranae here at School Through Spirit with WLTK-DB.com. This is a show where I talk about different people about their spirituality or just how spirits really impacted their life and how it has really changed them to be a different person. Now, each week I do talk about something that spirit has given me to speak about, and then we go on to our guest. This week, God, I'm so happy, guys. We have Missy Hart back on. Oh my God, Missy's had so many different things going on in her personal life that being able to get her back on the show just has been, it's been such a feat, and a lot of canceled dates and whatnot for months just because of it. And gosh, God bless her, and lots of prayers. But I'm so excited to have her back on this morning. And we're doing this by popular demand, because somebody or many of you asked about a show about all these. Not a reading show, but you asked about cards. Let's talk about cards. What's the difference in cards? Everything cards. And I thought, I could do that. But I'm like, who could I partner with that? And I thought, oh my God, my hair's staticky today, guys. You're going to see me playing with my hair a lot today. We got 3 to 6 inches of snow last night. The humidity is messed up and my hair is going to go to hell. I don't really care. It just is what it is. But just explaining the face touches before. But we're going to talk all about cards. We're going to talk about readings. We're going to talk about just how this all functionalities. Not really a reading show, guys, but you know what? You never know what me and Missy are going to do on the fly. So I'm not saying that isn't going to happen. I'm just going to say who really knows. But it's going to be amazing because, of course, Missy's back. And oh my God, if I could have her on every week, I would, because her and I have this amazing chemistry just to be able to talk and laugh and reality in there, and it's just super awesome. So I'm just sharing the show a few different places before I look at everybody chatting, because I really want to just share this out. I really do. I just want to share this all out and get it out to different places. And not that I have a lot of places to put it out anymore, because I don't. Let me see. Everybody that's there. Todd and Keith, oh my God, you two always, I love it. You guys always show up early and you chat, and I don't even know how you chat on the chat, but oh my God, I love that you guys come in so early and sit there and talk before we even start the show. Okay. I love it, Keith. I don't want to go to work this morning. I love that. Good morning, Jessica. Good morning, beautiful. Let me see. Good morning, Michelle. Oh my God. Good morning, Catherine. Love it, love it, love it. Good, Jessica. I love that. I love that. I'm creating my own right now. Oh my God, that's so awesome, Jess. I love that. Catherine, we can share. Of course you can share. I'm not sure. I mean, you mean share the show? You can do whatever you want, darling. The more the merrier. I love that. Excuse me. And I wanted to tell you guys, thank you, because as everybody knows, when this show is complete for the day, it switches into a podcast, and it kind of goes out to all those major venues or forums for podcasts. And we are now, thank you, darling. We are now over 126,000 downloads. So we're at about 1,000 downloads a week. It is so amazing. I am just eternally grateful, and knowing that this show, it reaches so many people and helps people, and what an inspiration. You guys are just such an inspiration, and I love that. So thank you for always sharing and listening and just kind of spreading that word. I can't even tell you. And to me, it's become such a passion. But let's kind of talk about a different thing. And I'll tell you what, I've been toying with something in my brain all weekend to talk about. And it was there. And I'm like, I don't want to talk about it. And even though it's kind of like gone back and forth over my brain for a long time. And it was so funny because y'all know how I love Neil. And I do love Neil, guys. I pay particular attention to him on today. A lot of times I read Neil, it's like if it fits, oh my God, it just sticks to me. Other times not so much. Because it's what it's if you need to know it, if you know what I mean. But so yes, he did it to me again, guys. Neil did it to me again. And I'm gonna bring it up because I had the thought in my head, and I really was kind of going back and forth, like, I don't want to talk about this. And I was like, oh, I've talked about it before and played it to death, but we're gonna kind of go there anyway. So Neil wrote this morning that the spiritual lie that sorry, that the truth lies within you, as does all the power you will ever need to change the direction of your life and the course of human history. Wow. Can you imagine that? All the power you will ever need to change your life and the course of human history. And you may tap that power whenever you wish. Today is if you choose. Indeed, you tap it just now in the sending to yourself of this message. And I was like, "Good morning, Mr. Kevin." And oh my God, Keith, reach out to Todd at the network. He would love to bring you in. So and I thought about it, and I thought, way to go, Neil, just to push me over the edge. Good morning, Dan, just to push me over the edge. Now, I did something this weekend. I can't tell you all the details because a lot of it's just in secrets. It doesn't come out until Saturday, and after next week you can ask me about it, and I'll tell everything and blah blah blah. And maybe I'll ask Todd to find a way to share it if I can. Um, but I really had to push myself out of my comfort zone this weekend, guys. Majorly on my comfort zone. Um, oh, I love that. Um, I had to look at myself, and I have over the last few weeks. What do I want in my life? What do I want to do? Where do I want to go? How am I going to make my life happen? So many incredible things, so many incredible things, and really kind of sitting back and just kind of looking at where my life is. And as I was thinking those things, I'll tell you what, I was having conversations with spirit and I was having conversations with God and kind of sitting back and going, "Oh my God, what am I going to do? What is happening? What's happening in life? Oh my gosh, I feel stuck." All those wonderful conversations I think everybody has with themselves. And opportunities were presented. And I thought about them and I went, "Yes. Yes. Yes. Let's do this." And it blew me away that I even said that. It blew me away that I said that because I will tell you, Gabby, oh my God, they got my nose again, guys. It blew me away that I said yes. And I feel like I'm being all cryptic because I can't say everything, but I will tell you what, when you start to say yes, you start to opportunities, you start saying yes to your life and you start to slowly change the course of your life. You go from whatever is humdrum, your normal life, which is whatever it is for you, but waking up, taking your shower, drinking your coffee, going to work, coming home, fixing dinner, getting the kids, homework together, you know, cleaning up your mess, putting everybody to bed, going to sleep and starting all over again. And for a lot of people, that's life. You know, time might change around the clock, but a lot of times that's what it is. And so many of us just go, "Oh my gosh, I can't do this anymore." But what are you going to do about it? Because I'll tell you what, it's up to you. And this is coming from somebody that I was a workaholic. I was a nurse and I was a workaholic. And I will tell you what, I was agency for the majority of my career. And I will also tell you what agency was agency and there was a purpose for us, not necessarily what it's become over time. But I would work 12-hour shifts, doubles, you name it, 7 days a week, take a day off, like twice a month. I worked and worked and worked. I had that life that I was like, oh, work was my life. My work was my family for the most part because my family was at home not having me in their lives because I was off doing something else all the time and thinking it was okay. And one day I was like, something has got to change. Something has got to flip. But again, how are you going to do it? Well, first, you're going to drop the seed in. You're going to drop in the seed that says, "I want change. I want something different. I want something to flow." And that is literally the beginning step. You don't have to know what you're going to do. You don't have to have a direction. I mean, directions are all fun and good, but you really don't need them to be able to go forth, okay, and go forward. just to have a thought of, I want something different. I want to change. Because when you start to speak those words, you start to set out the universe that I'm ready to accept different opportunities into my life. And it's going to start presenting them to you. And it's amazing because it's going to present these opportunities. And you just have to, all you have to do is show up and recognize the opportunities and say yes to the ones you want to say yes to. Now you're going to see things change slowly. I mean, rarely do we have something. Sorry, guys. Oh my gosh. Rarely do we have my throat chakra, guys, is all plugged up because I can only talk about so much. So I'm feeling the effects of it. But really in our life, does something just change like dramatically on a dime? You know what I mean? Major life things happen to have those type of changes. But regular change usually comes periodically. It comes slow. It comes a little bit at a time until you get to a point where you finally look back and you go, wow, oh my gosh, I'm so much different from where I started. And it's incredible when that does happen. It really is. Now, I will tell you, I have been slowly doing this, gosh, over since 2016. I mean, if not before, well, 2000, oh my gosh, 2014, 2012. Oh my God. 2012 is when I started my transition, guys. Sounds so weird, but it is. I was working doubles. I actually had two different companies, guys. I'll tell you what, this was my life. Monday through Friday, I worked for a company that I flew around the country, and I'll tell you what, all over the country. So, and I did health education for corporations. So I would get on a plane bright early Monday morning. And I could start in Wisconsin on Monday, be in Washington, the state of Washington by Monday afternoon, do an event somewhere in that state on Tuesday, back into a hotel back in Seattle Tuesday night, on another plane Wednesday morning, into Ohio on, Wednesday afternoon, do an event on literally on all day Thursday, back into plane the next morning and back home. And then that wasn't enough. I flipped from there. I literally got off the plane, drove from either Madison, Milwaukee, or Chicago back to home. I would switch suitcases, guys. Literally switch suitcases because I had my nursing uniforms, my scrubs in another case. And I'd pick up that case and I'd put it in my car and I'd give my baby girl a big old hug and a kiss. And she was literally, I think, 18 at the time, 17, 18 years old at the time. And I would drive 3.5 hours north to pull two doubles, 16-hour shifts, Saturday and Sunday. And I would drive back Sunday night after work. I wouldn't get home until 1:30 in the morning. Take one suitcase out, have the other one ready, go to sleep, wake up, get back on a plane. That was my life. And in 2012, everything literally on the same day, I was screaming to the good Lord in spirit, I need change. I don't see my family. I've been doing this crap for years. I've been pulling this role for 3 years, or 2.5 years is what it was, of that kind of dynamic. And I finally went screaming from the top of my lungs, oh my God, life has got to change. There's got to be something more than this. This is stupid, is all I could think. It was idiotic to do all that because it didn't matter how much I worked. I had absolutely nothing to show for it other than I was tired and my family didn't get to see me. And it was crazy. And I'll never forget it because it was the last day of July that year. Forget the year, but not the day. That week was the last week I literally worked for my fly company. I lost that job. Don't know really why. It was gone. It really was just gone. I was a contract employee. I refused a place to go. And I think that was basically it because I refused to go someplace in the country for the other job. And they didn't need me anymore because of that. And then the the place I was going 3.5 hours away, they went agency free. And that was the last shift I pulled, was that last day of July. And I'll never forget because I pulled that shift. It was Saturday night after the double, and I was driving home, and I opened up my email from the fly company that said I would no longer be working for them. And in a blink of an eye, Literally a blink of an eye, in a moment, I went from a woman working 7 days a week, nonstop, all over the country. I mean, you're talking about somebody banking, so drive and flight hours. I was that person, to it all being done, all being gone. And get this, I was unhireable. I applied to every job there was, medical jobs. I applied to hospitals for health education. I was told I had way too much experience. I applied to other jobs and they said, sorry, you don't have enough experience. I applied to other jobs and they went, sorry, we're fully staffed. I was unhireable as a nurse. I was like, oh my God, what has happened to me in this short amount of time? I even went to the local, gas station. I went to a video place around the corner and I applied for jobs and they told me, sorry, you're overqualified. We can't afford to pay you. And I'm like, I'm only asking for minimum wage something. I went from being a workaholic to nothing. And I literally went spirit and they went, you need to change. And I mean, at that time, I wasn't spirit, it was God. And I was like, oh my God. And an opportunity presented itself for me to move out of nowhere. I literally went to my mother's for a weekend. She lived in Hayward. I spent a weekend with her. Actually, it was closer to a week. And I slept in the floor of her spare room because there was no bed in there. And on the last morning, I woke up and I looked at her and I said, do you mind if I move into that room? And she said, not at all. And she took me back home, 5.5 hours back home. And within a week, I had everything packed up in a storage shed. My daughter now was over the age of 18, and she said, Mom, I'm coming with. And I said, okay. And we moved to Hayward. It was the first time I said yes. The first opportunity I said yes to. Didn't know what I was going to do. Didn't know what was going to happen. Blindly doing this, but I finally said yes. I finally said I needed change. I wanted change. I was desperate for change. Something had to give. Something had to break, and something had to push through, and it did. And not in the way I thought it would. I was really hoping for some gold platter with silver utensils and oh my gosh, and just give me the world with a candle on top. And I didn't get that. I got what was considered complete destruction. No job at all. Moving to a town that I'd known my whole life, but really, I was considered a transplant because that's what Hayward is. If you're from outside, you're a transplant. And I moved up to this town. And my daughter looked at me and she said, Mom, can you give me a ride? And I went, yeah. I mean, she had her own vehicle home. And I'm like, yeah. Why? What are we doing? She goes, going out to Famous Dave's. I'm going to apply for a job. I said, okay. Which I thought was really strange because she was working for Walmart at the time, and all she did, she literally transferred from one Walmart to another Walmart, so she had a job. So why did she want another job other than she learned from my bad habits? Go figure. And I said, yeah, I'll take you out there. So we drove out there. It was probably about a 25-minute drive from my mom's house. And she asked for application. She was filling it out. And I don't know why, but the hostess, I'll never forget, looked at me and goes, do you want one too? And I went, oh, why not? I mean, I was a server 30 years ago. Why not? Can't be that hard to go back to it again. And actually, I was applying for the bartending job because I figured that'd be a lot easier than serving again. And I was blown away because I was hired. And I was hired to be a bartender. But except for the server portion, I never bartended. Because you had to train to be a server before you could train to be a bartender. And it seems I was pretty good at the job, so they kept me in the serving position, which was awesome. And I worked incredibly hard there. And yeah, I did go back to doing my normal thing, working as many hours as I possibly could. But I also started to see other things that were happening because at that point then, I was very empathic. I had a lot of psychic abilities. A lot of that was in my life. But literally what Spirit had did, they went from, okay, you want change, you want different. We're going to put you in a place that's going to blow you up. And it did. The original Famous Dave's, guys. This isn't one of the knockoffs around the country. This is the original, the very first. Dave Anderson was my boss, and he came in to see us quite frequently. Which also means being the original one, it played on the original rules of Famous Dave's, which we had to treat the guest as if we were having a backyard party. You were at my party. Thank you for showing up. And there's a lot of enthusiasm and a lot of happiness. And the servers bring up the vibration of that room. And we're like, ah, and we're holding it for everybody as high as we can. And it doesn't matter if you come in happy or sad, you're going to come in and you're going to have a great time. And we make sure it happens. It was also the #1 photograph place in all of America, which means I was also a photographer, but everything for the party. But I didn't know while I was doing that party hostess job that my empathic bellies were bursting at this flame, just bursting. Oh my God. And I was saying yes. And I was saying yes. And then it came a day where I can remember saying, Lord, I need a change. I worked there for quite a while, but I was like, God, I need a change. I don't know what it is. I'm lost, but I don't want to keep doing this. I need change. And the job was gone. Now, it wasn't because of me or the universe. The building actually burnt down that night. And it wasn't through my prayer, guys. Trust me, I already worked that one because for the longest time, I felt like, oh my God, what did I do? But it wasn't me, obviously. Um, but it changed my course of direction because a friend said, hey, do you want to come sit with me for the day? And I never left her house. I tell you, I would be there at 8 o'clock in the morning until 11 o'clock at night. And I was back there the next morning because I didn't know what to do. And I was in this depression. But it opened me up to other possibilities. And it opened me up to this world of metaphysics because that's when other things started to present itself, classes and inspiration and all of it. And it snowballed because I said yes. And I still at that point had not looked back on my life to see all the changes. Because eventually I moved back to where I live, in the town I live now. And I went back to nursing. And it was like, oh my God, shoot me. I went back to this crazy career. And the whole time I was in this career, um, the whole time I was in this career, I was screaming, I can't do this. Why am I nursing again? Why am I doing this? And I was going, God, please don't make me do this job. And next thing you know, I was working 60, 70 hours Monday through Friday. And yeah, that many hours. And Saturday morning, I was on a plane going to the state of Washington again to do a gallery. I was in the town less than 36 hours. I flew back to go back to nursing on Monday. And I found that on the weekends, that's what I was doing. I was either traveling the country doing galleries or traveling the country doing events. But I was constantly traveling. And that's where my passion laid. Until eventually, the nursing just went away. It just literally went away. And I walked into this life. And I'll tell you what, this life has been amazing because I put myself out there. I asked for change. And again, guys, I am constantly going, give me more. Let's do more. I'm not the workaholic like I used to be. I just work in a different fashion now. But recently I've asked for change again. I want change. What more? Let's push the numbers. Let's push the dynamics. Let's push this life where it needs to be. I'm only 52. Oh my God, this can't be the beginning and the end. Let's do more. And they presented me with more. And I said yes. And that's where the change comes from, guys. That's what Neil was talking about today. Good morning, Carol. Is digging deep inside of you, going in here and going, oh my gosh, I want to do more. And it comes from here. It's never outside of you. It's never out here. It's only in here. This is where you say, yes, I want to do this. Yes, I want to do that. Yes, I want change. And allowing that change to come into your life and you saying yes. Now, do you have to do the work? You do, guys. You do. Because even with all the times I went, please, 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 trust me, if I fought harder, I could have probably found another agency. I could have walked into the door up and obviously been working again. But that wasn't even a focus. It wasn't even a focus because I wanted change. I didn't want the same old crap. I didn't want to change to be just a different person that signs my checks. I wanted something different. And as long as I was on that, Spirit was going to continue to give that to me. And it's incredible how that happens. So I want you guys to think today what you can do for yourselves to dig in deep, what you can do for yourself to say, I want something different. I want change. I want you to be your own power, your own destiny. What you're going to do is already out there and it's just waiting for you to show up. It's waiting for you to ask, come to me. So reach in here, guys. Look for what you want. Be your change, be your power, because you are an incredible person and you can do so much. So that's your challenge this week, guys. Okay, everybody. Missy's in the backstage. We're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, I'm going to bring in Missy. This is DeEtte here on School Through Spirit with WLTK-DB.com.
Looking for a holistic solution? Look no further than LimestreetWellness.com. Lime Street Wellness is a full-service Reiki therapy center offering in-person and distant Reiki sessions. Additionally, Lime Street Wellness is committed to helping clients co-create healthier outcomes with hypnosis, QHHT, and intuitive advice. Lime Street Wellness is committed to helping all that are seeking to co-create better health, peace of mind, and greater freedom. Reiki Master Kevin Mackey uses energy medicine, hypnosis, mindfulness, and intuitive guidance to assist in uncovering, understanding, and removing any blocks or energy cords or mental mindsets that may be intruding and causing needless suffering. Visit Lime Street Wellness today at LimestreetWellness.com. That's LimestreetWellness.com.
Welcome back. This is DeEtte here on School Through Spirit with WLTK-DB.com. I'm just reading the chatter between Missy and the producer, and she's talking about hacking dogs, and he's going yakking dogs. And I'm like, what are they hacking or yakking? We're going to find out here. So let's bring in Missy. God, I miss you, hon. You don't even know.
Do you hear this? Poor dog.
Oh my gosh.
So she's yakking and hacking. I don't know.
Yakking and hacking. I'll take it. I'll take it. I will take you in any shape, form, or whichever that I get you. Are you kidding me? And I think everybody here will, because they're all like, where's Missy? I miss Missy. And you were in my surprise to everybody last week. So
Aw, well, that makes me happy.
I kept you a surprise to the last second because literally a few months ago when I contacted you, everybody was like, yeah, do it, because you've seen I've grown.
Yes.
You're also filling drawers.
Oh my gosh. You might have a habit. You might have a little addiction going on.
I don't think it's an addiction. I think they speak to me because I still, believe it or not, I only use these for shows. I still don't use them in readings. But this is how this happens, Missy. I'll tell you, it's not my fault. It's in spirit. It's their fault, because what happens here is I don't go Googling decks. I don't go in the search for these things. Oh, that poor puppy.
I know.
He's calling BS on me is what it is. He's going BS.
She's okay, everyone. I'm going to disclaimer, because for any dog lovers out there, if it were me watching, I'd be like, are you sure that poor dog is okay? She's fine. She's fine. She's old. It's her thing. It's just
she's clearing her throat chakra.
Until she falls asleep. Yeah, she's clearing her throat chakra.
She's clearing her throat chakra.
For the mailman later. She's got to get ready.
She's warming it up. So literally, I walk into metaphysical stores, and this is when it happens. Days that I have to do readings for stores or I teach at stores, I walk in. and they have those card pulls. You know, pull a card, see what it says for you today. If the deck tells me something I want to hear, I figure it's my friend. It needs to come home with me.
This is mine. You are now mine.
It's what it is. Welcome to all the decks that told me they loved me.
DeEtte, I love that so much. I do. I don't have that many decks. Weirdly, I've been reading. So this is my deck of tarot cards
Ooh, I
that
love
I have been reading for. I mean, I'm going on 20 years with this deck.
I got one of
And
those.
they're worn and they're old and they're super weird. And this is
Yeah.
is that your old one? Where's my bag? I have my bag. It's the
What my
original.
bag does is like I can't even. It's got one half of a string.
I'm gonna find mine. I am. It's here somewhere.
Yeah, this is my original. They're
So,
nasty.
do you have any like crazy stories behind your cards that you use? Like I have. So weirdly, I had been eyeballing this deck for a long time, and at the time, I honestly just didn't have the extra money to
Right.
buy them. You know, I had like super small kids, and I was just, well, spending money on yourself when you're mom, I feel like is so hard. You know what I mean? So it's like, well, I could buy those, but I should buy my kids something instead. So
Yeah.
anyway, a friend of mine, like more of an acquaintance, actually gifted me this deck of cards, the exact same deck that I had been eyeballing for a long time. And then shortly after that, I'm on a date with my husband. We were not married at the time. It's a date. And he took me to the Bristol Renaissance Fair, my favorite place on earth. It was my
Right.
first time ever going there. And they actually there's like a booth with the tarot cards and the tarot bags and all of that stuff. And I
Mhm.
was like, oh, I'm going to get myself a bag. I didn't have one. So I pick out my bag, and the man would not take the money
Really?
for the bag. Gross, an $8 bag. I mean, it like, do you know what I
Right.
mean? But he refused to take my money. And I swear that was a nod. You know, I was listening to you, of course, before I popped in.
Yeah.
But that was one of those nods that I had. Like, keep going, that little dangling carrot, that's something, you know, just kind of pushing you. And so that was it, a $8 bag that was free in this deck of cards that was gifted to me, and I still use them. And so since then, I've just not strayed too far. I just got a different deck. So I'm going to show you, like, here, this is what I'm surrounded by. This deck
Oh,
here.
I
I
like
love the
that.
Light Seers. Do you
Oh,
have this one?
I don't.
Oh,
I probably will later today.
girl, it is a super modern take on tarot, and I love it.
Oh, okay. I
And
love that.
then after that, this is the only, well, I have the Akashic
That's a
tarot
good deck.
deck.
I don't have it, but I don't think I have it. Do I have it? I do have it.
It's
Three
this
layers deep.
one, I'm
I like that deck.
definitely, I play with it, but yeah, I've never really used it for someone else yet because it's so different,
Yes.
but really cool. Really
Yes.
cool.
I think that's awesome.
All
And
right,
people
so
don't
where did you
realize
want to take
how
this?
many different tarot decks they are. I mean, let me tear this apart a little bit. This is my granddaughter's tarot deck. She's got an oracle deck and a tarot deck. A friend of her gave her this one, which is really cool. One of my friends did. She did it for Christmas. So, I mean, and I'm just going to show you guys the difference in decks because it gets insane. So, like you have the wider rate deck, which is really, you know, just basically the original straightforward type of deck. Okay. So you got that one. They're deep here, Missy. They're deep. John Hollins, this is where he made this. It says Oracle deck, but it's actually a tarot deck. And it says right on here the Oracle deck, but it says the Psychic Tarot of the Heart. So he painted the pictures like they're Oracle, but it's an actual tarot deck, which is really kind of weird. It's
That
a
is
fun
interesting.
deck to play with.
Does it have like the normal suits in it, or?
I haven't opened this in forever. Let's look. Let's look because this is like, no, it does not. Right off the bat. So like the first card I even look at is Sacred Chakra.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Awaiting results. You know, so it's totally different. so you can use it as an oracle deck, but it's actually a tarot deck the way he's made it. So he's combined the two. And for myself, it's just a hard deck to use. You
Mm-hmm.
know, it really
Well,
is a hard deck because this is for the skilled, like, oh my gosh, skilled, you
this
know?
one is a hybrid too. So like this is the goddess deck. This is the deck that I've been using forever. And it
Yeah,
is a hybrid. And the only thing that changes about this deck really is the major arcana stuff where instead of like the death card, I have something different.
right.
You know, instead of the devil, I have an actual temptation card so it does shift up a little bit. And I enjoyed that because I've had a lot of decks in the past, and something that I've noticed about tarot card decks is some of them are uber kind of negative. Like just even in their interpretation, even in the pictures, the looks, we should probably bottom rung this for people, for our guests, like give them a little description of tarot in case someone's not familiar.
Yeah. And, and let's kind of like tarot. That's where I started. Okay. I
Me too.
started with tarot. You know
Me
what I mean?
too.
Which I'll tell you what, any reader I think should begin with tarot. They really should. And I will tell you what, I've actually been revisiting more and learning more, like tearing apart every card. And they're like speaking to me, like, learn it better than you did before, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But tarot really is, it really is an ancient art. So you'll see the Rider Right is like one of the first quote unquote decks of it. But really it
Mm-hmm.
started with playing cards. And that's what people don't realize. It was just a playing cards. And I was able to tell people this, that playing card deck, but this is what I found out about the cards is, yeah, you do have your natural suits, which is, the clubs, the spades, hearts, and diamonds. So that would be your lower arcana. The king and queen and all that are your major arcana. But also it breaks it into seasons. You know what I mean? So each
Yeah.
one is a season. And then there is, how did they explain it to me? And then it's like each one, when you break it down, it comes down to individual days of the year. So tarot, guys, is really just this art form that when you're looking for very specific, we're talking not, oh my God, you know what am I supposed to do today? This is very specific information. When you have a good tarot reader, they can almost nail it down to a day, when something is going to happen because it's going to rip the situation open. It's going to tell you everything and they're going to give it to you, which is incredible. Whereas I don't know, but I always explain oracle cards as they're fun time cards.
I
You
explain them as homework cards, where
yeah,
like
thank
tarot
you.
cards for me give you very specifics. Like that's the deck that you want to use if you have like big questions, want to see what's going on. It shows you the people, the players, the overall vibe of the situation. You know, it just, yeah, very specific. I've never heard, actually, that's crazy. I've not one time heard about the days of the numbers, of course I can correlate with certain things,
Yep.
but I've never heard about the down to the day thing. That is
I was
interesting.
I was blown away, and I wish I could remember exactly everything because it was like mind blowing to me. But literally, how they explained it with all the suits and all this and that the number came up to 365. I was like, they're like, yeah, there's one for every day of the week when you read it in a certain way. I'm like,
Wow.
oh my
I'm
God. It
gonna have
was
to look
mind
at.
blowing. I mean, just the seasons alone blew me away. That blew me away, the seasons.
That
I was like,
makes sense
oh,
to
I
me
can
because
see
like you have the elements in there too. So if you assign a season, and I'd never thought about doing that either.
Yeah. Well, and the beautiful thing is I also have a friend who's on the show, Ane, who reads tarot, I mean, proficiently. And she can tell you based on her cards what time of the year based on astrology, because tarot actually combines with astrology also.
Isn't that crazy? They do so much.
It really is. It's
I love
insane.
cards.
Cards are I've learned because I'll tell you, and I have a friend up in Hayward that laughs at me because when I was up at there and getting into this, I had I had a couple of my weight riders. I had this is not my original, guys. I had one and I burnt it because I actually threw it away because my sister was totally against it. And she was like, oh my God, you're going to go to hell. And I believed her. And then, so I got rid of it. So this is my replacement deck of my original deck that I hid from her for many, many years. She knows not now that she's dead and she's okay with it. But, you know, and I had a couple of decks that literally I found things to stuff them in, but when I lived up in Hayward, my friend had all these decks. I'm like, oh, they're just nonsense. I can't see why you do this, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? I was just that person. And now that I've kind of gone on this journey of collecting them, and I think it's just more of a collection, you know what I mean, than anything.
Mhm.
That's what it did. I literally started with my first, what the hell's it at? Dirt, dirt, dirt. I got to dig deep here.
I was just saying, yeah. Keep
Shush.
going.
Don't
Keep
judge
going.
me.
This is a judgment-free zone. Judgment-free.
Judgment-free zone, guys. This deck is the one. I have another one. There's two fairy oracle, or there are two fairy. They say oracle, but they're really tarot decks.
The heart
they're-
fairy, is that what that is?
They're fairy.
The
Yeah,
heart of fairy.
heart
Ooh.
up fairy. He has one before this that I'll tell you what I bought. I used it all the time, like studied this. I bought this one and that one disappeared. I've never been able to find it. It's so strange.
That
So
is weird.
And I have gone and ripped I have moved and ripped things apart and cannot find the deck. So,
Odd.
but this is where I went. It does say fairy oracle, but trust me, it's more of a tarot deck than it is a fairy deck or than an oracle deck. But yeah, that's where I kind of went to. You know what I mean? I started to explore different decks, like, and as you can see, they're not used highly. They're just, I like them. I play with them. I go back to my filthy deck instead.
Oh, mine is disgusting.
Hello,
Yeah.
Karen. Yeah.
Absolutely. You want to know what else? This was so funny. I was cleaning and I found one of my cards somewhere. So I wasn't even playing like with a full deck for a while. I have no idea how long it was missing.
That is too funny how you just
And I
said that.
found it. Like, I'm not playing with the full deck. That's okay.
Right? I love
So
it.
I started with a deck called the Mythical Tarot.
Okay.
And it was all based in Greek mythology,
Right.
which is cool, but never like my favorite subject. And so,
Right.
like, I would just tell anyone, if you're thinking about dabbling with tarot cards, make sure that you buy a deck that really speaks to you. So, like, you really want to buy something that you love, something that resonates with you. The pictures are the most important thing. Like, I had this student, I do teach tarot card classes once or twice a year typically. And my last round of tarot, I had a student who bought a witch's deck, which would DeEtte never be my thing. Like, dude, I mean, ever. It was the coolest freaking deck ever.
Yes.
And it was not like super negative or, it was like, I think one of my favorite decks that I dealt with, like watching.
Yeah.
But this Mythical Tarot deck, I
Oh my
studied and studied and studied. I had the Tarot for Dummies book at
Oh,
some
do
point.
you?
Did you ever get? No, I did. I've been reading cards for 28 years this year. So it's been a long time.
That's incredible because when I look back at when I started reading cards, oh my gosh, my daughter was 1 year old, because not even a full year old yet, because we'd moved into this apartment and I bought my first deck and she wasn't even a year old yet. And she's 30 now. So
Right.
at
Time is
least
zooming.
29 and a half years.
Yeah.
I've been reading
Zooming.
cards.
I was 17
Oh my gosh,
when I started.
you just like blew my whole life open, because people go look at me like, when did you start the journey? And I'm like, 2014. And really, I went professional in 2016, but I started doing readings with cards back in, gosh, 94, 93, 1993.
And you were talking about your journey to get here. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I just got a butt in because I was so
Oh,
excited
please
listening
do.
to you. But you were talking about your journey, like getting to where you are at this point, and how, it was like all chaos just ensued, and like you couldn't find work and you moved into waitressing, bartending. Girl, I was
Yeah.
a waitress bartender for 15 years at the same establishment.
You were,
And
yeah.
even before then. So like I started out in restaurants when I was 12 years old. Outside of talking to dead people and knowing things, that's my job history, is
Right.
that. And so I'm going to give you guys like my super fun story about how I started reading cards, because I think like it's just so funny when you're getting the nudge to like get into tarot or into oracle decks or whatever, you really might want to listen to that nudge. So in the very young years, girl, my life was just an absolute shit show. I was a shit show. I mean, like, I stability at home. well, I wouldn't say it didn't completely exist, but we were going through a very turbulent time as a family, and everyone in my family was having a turbulent time. Um, anyway, some things happened. I actually had a baby, and I gave him up for adoption when I had just turned, well, I was 16, I think. And to be honest with you, it crushed me. It crushed me. And I wasn't living at home at that point. And I, honest to God, just had to get out of Dodge, DeEtte. So I hopped in my car one day and I headed south, and I landed in St. Louis. And this is where I joined the carnival. I know that you know my carnies
I do.
story. So
I
I hop in the car. I'm thousands of miles away from home, and life circumstances had just pushed me to run. Right. And it was, honest to God, while I was out on this carnival, traveling the country, is where I met the psychic who told me I was a psychic and gave me that deck of the mythical tarot. So what inspired you to get your first deck? Like, is there any, like, what is
Honestly,
your cool tarot story?
my cool tarot story, it's really weird because my mother, of all people, my mother, I love my mom to death, but you know what? This isn't her world. But when our metaphysical store in Janesville, Earth Song, opened up, they're at 34 years this year. My mom and one of her best friends used to go there on Reader Day and get ready for. Well, they still have Reader Day, except for Reader Day is every weekend, and there's 2 readers every weekend versus Reader Day used to be like back room full of Jamis.
Yeah, like the psychic fairs.
Yeah, like the little tiny ones for stores. And my mom and her friend used to go there, and then they would present classes, whatever. My mom would go and do those little things with her friend, and then of course they go and have ice cream together afterwards. But literally, that's how I got started, was my mom doing those things, and her journey with spirituality really ended at that point because her friend got sick and passed away. But God bless her, but literally kind of got me interested, just interested. I don't know why. I honestly, I'm brain dead on the whole why. I don't know, because literally what happened was I didn't have anything like that. I moved out with me and my kids, because the relationship I was in with their dad, it broke up. I got our own place, and a lot of late nights by myself. I can't even tell you. It's just almost like one day they showed up in my lap and there they were. And a Ouija board came with it, and
ew, yeah. Stay away from the Ouija boards. Ugh.
yeah, but you know what I mean? It's just how it started, and I can remember my first reading was to my grandma, God bless her heart. You know what I mean? We're talking, she's, strict Lutheran, here you come type of woman. And she completely supported me, like, oh. And then I gave one to my mom, and they were both like, "God, those were pretty spot on." But here was my thing: do the cards and read the book the whole time. I mean, that was me for for years. I couldn't give up the book. I had to have the book because even if I knew what the card meant, I needed the book.
Right.
So that's literally how I got started on that journey. It was really crazy because they just showed up. It was almost like spirit just said, "Here, they're in your lap." I can't tell you remember buying them. I know I bought them. I know I bought them for probably about, I don't know, $11 back in the day, if it was even that. I know I didn't have any money really because I was a mom of 2,
Yeah.
and going to school full time. There was no job involved. I mean, it was just crazy. So honestly, I can't remember how I got my first deck. I really cannot remember. I remember, throwing it. I can remember putting it all in the garbage can and watching the garbage truck take it, me crying. And I can remember I got another deck, the same one, but can't tell you remember buying that one either. And then it went on to ruins from there. I went on. I had to. I remember getting into ruins, like, oh my God, there's got to be more. There's got to be more. And I remember going and buying my first set of ruins. And I can remember laying in bed with my bag of ruins on my chest and asking questions because you're in your early 20s and, oh my God, these things got to tell you the answer to life, and picking one off my chest and going, F you, and putting it back because I didn't like that one.
Yeah, this doesn't make any sense at all.
Yeah, and that whole type of thing. And I mean, this is just really, and I remember getting my first pendulum because I was, me and my kids, gosh, my daughter at this point is probably about 7, 8 years old. And I remember a lady, we're living at this house, and this lady had gone with her daughter to Earthsong, and they come back, and she's sitting on my sidewalk with a diagram and this thing swinging. And she's like, ask it questions. And I was, and it was answering me. And I was like, oh, that's the coolest thing since instant pudding. Like, oh
Right.
my God. So I went out and bought that, and so the journey's just been this really slow progression, and
Oh, for sure.
then I walked away from it altogether because it was like, oh, this shit don't make sense
Been
anymore.
there,
Like,
done that. I did
yeah,
that same thing. I played with the cards for a long time. It was always a stop and go thing for me. And the same, like at first I studied. Holy crap, did I study the book? And like I said, I got the tarot for dummies. I had the mythical tarot. I of course had the Rider Waite,
right.
which the tarot for dummies goes along with the Rider Waite deck. So I've
It
done
does.
all of those things. And I'll be honest with you, talking about like needing the book, I got really good at cards the minute that I got rid of the book.
Hmm.
Is honestly how that happened. And now I had a really good foundation laid. So I think it is important if you're interested in getting a tarot card deck or if you're playing with those things, there are foundational things that you do need to know. I mean,
Hmm.
for sure. And so
Right.
you definitely want to take your time and study certain things, but memorizing meanings of the cards, not recommended for me.
I
Not
don't.
recommended. Like, you want to be intuitive,
Mm,
like allow the things to pop into your brains that pop into your brain. Read
yeah.
the pictures and the feeling.
I laugh about that because the other show I have is the Unfiltered show. I use the cards in that one, and I used to just do the reading off the cards. And now I flipped it to using my own abilities. And then I pull a card just to see if the card matches what I said. And now I was blown away going, oh, or I'll look at sometime and go, what the hell does that have to do with what I just said?
Right?
And it's just an extension of what I've said. I went, oh, that makes sense. But I'll tell you what, the only reason that book is in any of these is because it keeps them from doing the really bad shake. It
Oh, I
holds the space.
I love the books. Like, I'll be honest with you, a lot of
Oh,
the
do
times,
you?
like if I'm pulling for me,
Yeah.
that's all. I won't pull out the cards. I'll just pull out the book and be like, oh, this what I need today.
Somebody told me to do that one time, and
It's
I was
so
like,
nice.
what?
It's so
Yeah.
nice. And
I
honestly, like, especially because Oracle cards, so like, we've already told you guys where tarot cards are more for like big things. To me, well, okay, so we'll separate out the differences a little bit since we have both kinds of decks here, and we're gonna look at
don't
some
know what's going on. You
with
want me to
the
pull from the other side? I got hidden books that have.
sure. Pull
Well,
away, pull away.
I'm sorry, I got to do this to you because you're gonna think I'm crazy. Sorry,
Well,
I'm not in
anyway,
my pajamas. I'm in sweatpants and a sweatshirt because it's freaking cold. See these?
I'm wearing the same. Oh yes.
Watch this. This is what's really cool.
I love it. They're everywhere.
I have them in bookcases too. I'm so naughty.
That is so funny. I really don't have. Okay, so my
These
little
things
thing
are
pales
awesome.
in
Look,
comparison.
nobody knows you're a weirdo if you put them inside of fake books.
Here, this is what I have. This is my collection.
I love your collection though. I love it.
It's
Oh my
pretty
God.
great. And right now I have a friend who is there. This is a prototype deck. So I have this one right now too that I've been playing with. It's a little prototype
Aren't those fun?
deck that my
Oh,
friend made. And so I'm just going through it. This is really cool. I don't think she would be mad, but this is all like songs basically. So it's two friends of mine who are putting this together, and they are, yeah, just like song titles.
mm-hmm.
And so it's been really interesting because the information is there for you to pull, like based on the song. You can go and look up the lyrics or whatever and see what's going on. So it's an interesting little deck.
I love that. I love that. See,
Okay, so tarot. Wait,
your thing would be bigger if you got out more, just so you know.
my what?
Your collection.
Girl, if I got out more. DeEtte, are you psychic or something?
I
It's like, yeah, no, I don't get out. Like,
know.
I
Well, the
haven't
funny thing
gotten out in
is
a
when I
long
met you,
time.
I had this deck. That's all I had when I met you.
Oh, that's
So
so funny. Yeah, this has been my trusty dusty. And then I really got into Oracle cards.
yes.
A little while ago. I've had a lot of decks in the past that I just didn't like.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, several. This is trusty dusty. I love this deck. I
I love
do.
it. So go on with the story I keep interrupting you for.
Yeah, so I was going to tell people the difference between tarot and oracle, just
Yes.
because if we have people who like we're enticing with all of these cards and they want to play, or they
Mhm.
are playing, and whatever. So like with the tarot cards, it is definitely more of that past, present, future, current things that are going on. You're going to be asking the things that are coming, all of that stuff, right? Where then the oracle cards are really good for you personally, like looking at the inside of a situation and how it relates to your insides, I think. So while
Yeah.
I think like it can be used as, I don't know, prophetic or something, not as much as like tarot cards. I
Right.
mean, to me, so I always call oracles the homework cards. These are the things that you need to be aware of, the things that you need to be working on, the things that you need to be doing for yourself. That's
Mhm.
always how I take it.
Right. Oh, and I love
And
that.
well, then, and let me say this: do you have any angel oracles? I love angel oracles.
I see yours. I'm like, ooh, I'm intrigued because I seen Kyle Gray, and I was like,
This is
oh,
what I have. I
I love,
love the Kyle Gray deck.
are you? Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
I do. And so, like, if you're ever feeling that you want to connect in with like angels or
Mhm.
learn a little bit more about them, I think that, those types of decks, even fairies, like,
I love my fairy
they can totally like get to know the fairies.
decks. I love my fairy decks.
Oh, here, I'll show you this. Since
Oh, please
I'm
do.
right
She's
here,
like,
you can
I
see my
knew she had
sweatpants
more
too.
decks someplace.
So here, a friend of mine, fairies. I wish I could show you this thing lit up. My friend Kate is just an amazing, like, artistic person, and she made me. Do you
Oh,
see the fairy thing? I don't know if you can really see the fairy shadow sitting there.
oh,
Girl,
that
it
is.
lights up like you light a candle on the inside. So here, you might be able to see the fairy silhouette here a little bit
Yeah,
better.
I can. Yes. Oh my gosh, that is so cool.
Yeah, these are like my prized possessions. I love fairies. I love fairy things, anything whimsical. I
Mhm.
love whimsy.
Oh, I love it. Good morning, Ward. So, talking about Renaissance Fair, I have to break this to you. Our lady retired.
I know. The
I
palm
came.
reader.
I
Is
was.
that who
I
you're talking about? The palm
yes,
reader?
yes. I walked in last year, and of course, I went in, and I'm like, make the whole family go straight to her because I'm like, I've got to get signed up. So I got signed up, and blah blah blah, and I came back at my scheduled time, and I sat down. Now, guys, any reader will tell you we don't remember who we read for. It's like, and
You
especially
just can't.
her. And you know what? Renaissance Fair, she's not going to remember a single soul,
No,
right?
not one.
I literally sat down thinking she won't remember. I sat down. She looks at me, looks at my face, has no clue who I am. I show her my hands, and she looks at me, and she looks and goes, "I was hoping I would get to see you." And I looked at her and said, "What?
Oh,
Today's my last day. I retire." I'm like, "What?" She goes, "This is my last day, and I was hoping I get to see you before I retired." And I'm like, "Oh,
that is crazy. Because you're
it
right. Like they
is."
are bombarded.
They are, they are.
That
But she
says a
was my
lot.
hand. She remembered the story of my hands. And the cool thing is and I will tell you what, I don't do palmistry. I won't even
I
begin.
dabble, but yeah, very,
I went there and went, nope, can't do it. It's like astrology, too much for me.
way too
Um,
much for me.
but your left hand is what you're born with in this lifetime. And most of the time your hands will be very similar. You know what I mean? Because your right hand is what you've done in your life. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, this is
you
like
kind
what you're living. This is what is
of
written
right.
in, kind of.
And they're usually map each other pretty well. You know what I mean? They really do map each other pretty well. And she looked at it, she's like, and she knew me by my left hand. She's like, "Oh my God, there you are." And everything. And she's like, and then she looked at my right hand, she's like, "Oh girl," like she's like, "I've never seen somebody totally flip their life like you have." like,
That's
because
easy.
she's been reading me for 3 years now, you know?
Yeah.
And my left hand or my right hand kept changing, and now my hand this hand's actually bigger than this hand is now, and it's like, I look at it, I'm like, "God," and she's explaining, she's like, "You went from a follower to a leader," and she's all these lines like, "You're an incredible medium, and spirit's always talk," I mean, she literally was talking out my life, and I was like, "Oh my god, you don't even need the deck, there's no intuition, it's just
That woman
this."
impacted me so much. Last year when I went, I wasn't able to see her, and the year before that, she told me she thought that that was going to be she knew time was dwindling down. She was coming
Yeah,
to a close. And so last year, when I went, I was so sad. I did typically my only reading for the year.
mhm,
Often, I might get 1 or 2 readings a year for myself.
right,
Always her. And so I
always.
was so sad. She's incredible. If you can find a really good palm reader, you're in for a treat.
Yeah,
Incredible.
yeah, and I'll tell you what, I don't know where I'm gonna go now. I don't
So
know.
they do have other like readers there. I don't know that I have nothing that has stood out to me like that. And
No,
I've seen some of the other ones. She is so
you
good.
you know, you hooked me up with her, and because you're the
Oh,
one that
so
told me
worth
all
it.
about it. Remember that year we were trying desperately to get there
Yeah.
together, like, oh my
One of
god, it
these
wasn't
days, dang it,
working?
we're gonna do it.
We're gonna do it, yeah. Just you and me, a girls' day. Oh my god, we'll take pictures for
Good
everybody.
luck. That will never, girl. My kids would string you up. My husband would string you up. I mean, I'll walk away from them, but
Right, there you go. You're mine. We're gonna leave your kid we gotta find a way where I
ah,
drive down, grab you, and get you out of the house. Like, jeez.
it's so
I'll
funny.
even
Like
I'll
you're
leave a
right. So
ransom note.
it is funny. I mean, because you're totally right. I've been in hermit mode, not in a spot where I feel super bad about it though. And honestly, girl, I'm coming down to the end of
I've been through a lot.
my kids' time. Do you know what I mean? And so like my youngest is 13. I don't have a lot of time left here as in this phase of my life. And so
No,
I've really just, I do still homeschool the one.
right,
Um, and so my life does completely and wholly revolve around my kids right now.
right.
But like I said, I'm almost out of it. I mean, so man, I'm gonna hold on to these times.
I don't
And
blame
my
you.
daughter's 25.
Right.
My
Well,
middle son
we
is
can
gonna be
take the
16
25-year-old with
tomorrow.
us. It's a girls' day, so we'll take the 25-year-old.
Yeah, she doesn't care. She'll go
Happy
on her
birthday to
own.
your boy.
She's good. My boys are old enough to wander though, so we could still meet and be kid free.
I don't mind kids being there. I mean, I'm in
You just
grandkid mode
wander.
now, so trust me, and I usually have one under each arm, so to me, kids are not a big deal, you
I'm
know?
so ready for grandkids.
Oh, they are the best. I've
I'm
shared
ready.
my grandkids with everybody on here, and everybody I mean, you know, I'll tell you what, my grandkids come on, and everybody's like they ignore me, and everybody in the comments are all about them, you know? But grandkids are awesome, and I'm not the grandma that's like, "Give me 5 minutes and then go home." Mm-mm. Go away, go. Go for I literally just sent my mom or my daughter and her husband away for the weekend and took the kids. Like,
Aw,
go away. Have fun. Me and the kids will have more fun if you're not here. Goodbye.
right. Leave me your babies.
Exactly,
Fine.
exactly. So, are your kids into tarot and their intuitive abilities and
No. Oh my gosh. So,
you?
okay. Incredibly funny. My daughter is for sure. So, like, I have my team as my mom and my daughter. Like, they come to every single event that I have for the most part and super supportive. My husband, very supportive. My boys, they're teenagers. And so, um, this just happened a few months ago. His friend's mom, well, so his friend's mom's mom had passed away.
Mhm.
And I know she's really going through a hard time. And I said, well, if she ever wants to talk to me, and not even like offering a session or anything, just if she ever needs someone to talk to, Max, you should. Um, and he goes, what did he confessed that he doesn't tell people what I do for a living. So if
Okay.
somebody asks Max what mom does, he tells them I do nothing. He actually says she doesn't do anything
I love
because
that.
he doesn't know what to say. Right? Isn't that, I mean, that is so hilarious. I was like, well, I mean, nothing. Like, you could tell them I have a podcast, or you could tell them, like, something. I do something. It's like
Right?
just a low for mom doing nothing. My kids are all incredibly psychic, though. I mean, girl, as natural could be. Morgan, that's my youngest son. Morgan has a knack for finishing my thoughts, reading my mind. Art telepathy that we have is incredible. Like, it is so, so good. And then Max, the same. Max is a little more like prophetic, where he just has a knowing that something's going to happen,
Right.
and so you kind of listen when Max is talking about stuff sometimes.
I love that. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's incredible. You know what I mean? Because my granddaughter at 5 is giving me messages on a
Yeah.
regular basis. Oh yeah. She tells, I do my TikTok, not religiously, not even close. And it's my nemesis, because I get into it and I do it day after day after day, and then I quit and I'm like, ugh, I can't do it. It's 3 minutes of my life and I can't commit. I'm horrible.
I hear you.
My granddaughter's gotten on and done a few. And then last week she looks at me, she goes, Nani, I said, what? She goes, I got to get on and do another reading because my fans are going to miss me.
Oh, come on. How cute.
Adorable. But she's right. She's got 2 decks, and you'll love this deck. Oh my God, here I am. Because I already showed you her tarot deck. But this is her oracle deck. This is, I will tell you what, this is a hard deck for a professional to read. It's a hard deck. I will tell you what. I mean, even the picture, look at the pictures. It's a hard deck. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Not a demon desire. She's just learning how to read. So she doesn't understand not a demon desire. Here's, they're all not a dear harmony. This is that card. You know what I mean? I don't know if you can see it throughout the thing, but they're all unicorns on some aspect. So for her, she's only looking at the pictures. Okay.
Yeah, for sure. Which is what I recommend.
Yep. She's just learning the words, but she can give spot on readings with just the pictures, which is just insane. And I'm looking at her going,
yeah,
what the hell is it? You know what I mean? It's incredible. And every once in a while she'll go, Nani, what's that mean? And I'll tell her what the words mean. And she'll go, what's the words mean? And I'll tell her what the words mean. And then she goes on to her own little reading with it. And it's insane. I have people on here, like when I'm doing a show and they'll see it, they're like, what? They'll ask her for the reading. And you're going, hey, nope, they want her. And that's she's a rock star. But
showing up. No, my boys, man, they just think it's weird.
Really?
And that's, I mean, totally. Hello. Like, yeah.
Yeah. I love that.
They don't think I'm cool. They don't think it's cool. I don't know. No. So Max has come to one of my events, and just really was there for the snacks. Mm-hmm. I do 3-hour shows. I don't know how how long yours usually are. So I do a 3-hour with an intermission.
Your lives go on forever. I love
my
your
galleries.
Yeah.
No, my gallery
events. Your galleries, yes. I haven't done one. I need to show for one of your galleries. When I do a gallery, if I do it online, it's usually about an hour and a half. But if I do it in person,
I've never done an online one.
Oh, it's fun. I actually seen you advertise for your last gallery. I'm like, I was going to message you and go, Missy, we need to do a gallery together. I'll come to you. I'll come to you. Let's do gallery.
I've never done a gallery with another person. Ever.
It is so much fun. It is so much fun, especially when you don't. I love doing galleries. Is my mojo. I love doing galleries. I won't even lie. I love doing galleries. They're awesome. But when you do it in tandem with somebody, it's so awesome, because you literally, essentially what you're doing is you're going, take a turn, take a turn, take a turn, take a turn. You know what I mean? So it gets it so that you kind of get a breath in between, which is kind of nice. But sometimes it will happen because every once in a while you'll dump a link into the same spirit.
Sure.
So you end up giving so much more information. You know what I mean? Say, you and I are there, and it's like you're giving your da 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 da, and I'll look at the person go, and you'll watch me, and I'm like sweating to death, or I've got something going on. They're looking at me like, "What the hell's going on with her?" And you'll be done. You're like, and you'll look at me. Anything else? Did they have like a really high fever before they died? Because they have got me sweating. You can see it. I'm just like, oh my God, and my back hurts and blah. And all of a sudden they're looking at me going, oh my God, that looks exactly like my husband. And I'll be like,
Uh,
thank you for taking them because I don't need this crap. You know what I mean? But it's a lot of fun. It just ends up being a lot
yeah,
of fun. And I always think that yours and my personality, like, because I can see you in a gallery, there's every range of emotion there. You know what I
it's
mean?
ridiculous.
And
Yeah,
it ends up does it not just become a show almost? Because it's like you let spirit come through, and, like, if they're funny, it's gonna be so funny, and if they're crying, you're gonna be crying. And it
it's
just it
it's
becomes very
crazy.
dynamic.
Yeah,
It's so dynamic.
I love them. I love them, and they're so
Ah,
healing and so much fun. And they really do just offer like a pretty cool insight into what mediumship is.
right.
So I've noticed that it's really great for people who are unsure about
Mhm.
it. I don't know. I love it. I love and it's funny, like my lives, yes, they're long. But that's just time to connect with. They're my peeps. And so, the shorter things on occasion, but that is truly my time that I make myself available.
Yeah.
And
So
we have a relationship with so many people. Like, I don't know, so I know shorter videos and stuff like that, but I like to connect with
I
my
know you
people.
do. Hey guys, we're not doing readings today. I apologize. We're just talking everything about tarot cards and oracle cards and the different types of readings. And because this world is huge, this world is huge. And you know what? I don't, not one person knows everything about everything, but I've gotten so many questions over the 3 years of, oh my gosh, what's this? Oh my gosh, we elaborate on this. So that's what we're doing today. We're not doing readings today, guys. We're just talking. We're talking tarot, talking oracle, talking readings, just to give you some education, some enlightenment. So, but if you are looking for those readings, I did put Missy's Facebook up there, so you can message her. I also have her email in the comments. Feel free to reach out to her. You know what? She does this for a living, guys. She does this for a living. So
What I
um,
do.
it's what
That's
she
what I do.
it's what she
And
does.
I
Which
love it.
yes, I do. I love it. I just didn't want. I the whole time we've been talking, I got this deck that I know you're gonna love. And you know who Todd is, the producer. And up until recently, this was his favorite deck. I called this a paranormal deck. It's actually the Halloween Oracle.
What? Okay, that's cool.
That's
I've never seen that. You're gonna just show me lots of different things.
one.
Oh my. So a cauldron. Ooh.
Got it backwards, the hearth.
Wow.
I know. You're like lamp. It's just
Mm.
very different. Oh,
Yeah.
strength.
The
Where's your
skeleton is
picture?
strength.
Yes, it's
That
strength.
is cool.
Isn't it? It's kind of like people wouldn't look at a skeleton as strength, but really, what is your strength within your body?
Well, your bones, they're kind of holding your ass together. Like,
Yeah. It's,
you're
I
very
mean,
strong.
they got a zombie card.
Oh, that's funny.
So I always think of you and I think of Todd every time I pull this deck. I don't
So
even
what
know.
is the zombie? Girl,
They
you
got
got to look in the book. What would the zombie card
the
talk
zombie
about?
card. I don't know. We gotta look because I've never opened the book.
I want to know.
You want to know? Now I gotta figure out. I think it is. It's all alphabetical. Thank goodness, because I put the card away. Maybe it's not. I don't know. Let's see. Zombie control. Ooh. The dead arise. Voices are mumbling. After our brains, our screams, they are tumbling. It's got some rhyming going on here, guys.
Yeah.
Zombies have been quite the fashion recently, much like vampires. Turn on the television, you can't escape the moaning and groaning of the living dead. And yes, they do seem to be after your brains. There are even public zombies walking, and zombie walks, where people dress up as zombies and appear in a maze on roads and in the cities. But zombies are not merely a fun icon of the popular culture. Traditionally, they are mainly associated with the African and Haitian voodoo religion. Zombies are said to be the dead bodies reanimated by incantations chanted by a learned practitioner called a boker, and they are usually enlivened for a purpose. The practitioner is said to capture part of the living soul to animate the body, and that is always a temporary action, as the soul cannot be contained in that decomposing body for long, or God will take the soul back. One of the most frightening aspects of the idea of zombieism is the idea of our souls and consciousness being trapped inside a body that does not do our bidding but someone else's. Another being buried alive, the fate of some, it is said, who can get trapped in already dead bodies. Should the zombie step unsteadily into your life, it's time to look at the concept of control. Do you want to control everything, leaving little to free expression? Do you choose partners who are not your equal so that they are more easily manipulated and changed to your liking? Or do you allow that to happen to you? If you're not living your most authentic life, it's time to look at why and how to change that.
Dang, that's actually pretty good.
It's a lot, but it's pretty damn good. See,
It is
now
a lot.
I would look this and just go to the last the last paragraph.
Would you?
Yeah.
I don't know. I always read, like, if I'm reading for myself, let's say that I get a thing, like with this deck here, the Enchanted Map deck, that is probably my favorite Oracle card deck ever.
That's
But
really an awesome deck.
let's say
on that
I
one.
love it. I just absolutely love it. And I always read the upright and the reverse meanings.
Yes.
Because I really like, and then I just take whatever I feel resonates with me from either one.
Yeah. I love that because I will tell you what, when I do my TikToks, I use her deck because I love it, but I actually have to go to the book and I have to read it, and then I have to look at the picture and then go, what's it mean for me? You know, I have to go back. It's the only one I do that with.
I don't like all books. That one I really do.
That
one cool. I really do. And then this one, this Akashic Tarot, I have to use the book on this because I have no idea. What, I've not figured the deck out yet. Like, instead of suits, it's totally a tarot, but instead of like normal suits, they use like keys and I can't remember, keys and what? Scrolls, keys and scrolls and roses. And those, so they all like correlate with the suit.
Yeah.
But it's supposed to give you like your Akashic records.
Mm-hmm.
So this is so fun to play with.
Right.
And the colors of this deck, let me see. Oh, there's my thing. I mean, I could just look at the back. I know that's like so silly. It's just like the back of the card, but I'm in love with it.
Now that's the Akashic deck?
That's the Akashic.
Enchanted Map. Is that the Akashic deck?
Yes.
My earball is itching. Do you have earballs?
So what I have, girl, you can help me out with this, Miss Intuitive person. I've got some like TMJ thing going on or something just since yesterday.
Oh, wow. I was worried because I was wondering why my earballs like itching and bothering me in there. I'm like, what is going on with it?
Anytime that I swallow or bite, I get horrible pain.
Okay.
Like in my ear, but like right here.
Thank you. Yeah, because I'm like, it's itching and it's bothering and it's getting worse and worse. I'm like, what the heck is this? Like, now I'm like playing with it. So it's yours, not mine. And now it's like plugging up on me, which is really weird. So I'm wondering if it's plugged or like, I don't know if you have allergies or what's going on, but I'm almost wondering if fluids up there, because I'm like pulling on it, trying to feel like this feeling of draining it. So you know when
I've been doing that.
Yank your ear and they actually straighten the station tube. You know what I mean? To try to get
that's
that.
the top.
Yeah, they pull it on the top. They like pull here. You know,
okay. I've been pulling here.
Yeah, but they kind of pull here, and you can hear a snap. Yep, and it'll help drain it. So I'm wondering if you're kind of plugged like that. I don't know if you have allergies or something like that, but it's almost like it feels like it's plugged.
A lot of sinus drainage. And you know, it's funny that you say that, just to validate what you're saying. A few, like just over the past couple of months, I keep on feeling like this fullness in my ear. Like you ever get fluid in your ear
Yes,
and you
that's what
kind
it
of
feels
hear that like little muffly, or I don't know, you can feel it, hear it, not
like.
super uncomfortable. But then yesterday,
Yeah,
it actually hurts. Like
yeah.
anytime that I bite down or swallow.
I feel like you need to do something to help drain it, like to
All
help get
right.
that fluid out of there. You know what I mean? Just to like pull it, drain it. I don't know how for something to try to. I don't know if decongestants would work. But something to
I'll
try to get this
try.
to
I'll do a
drain.
little bit of everything.
Yeah, because that's what I feel. Because the longer I sit with it, it's like the ears just getting muffled. Like, oh my god, you know.
Yeah.
But
Think it doesn't hurt. Like, because at first
no,
I thought, well, maybe it's a tooth or something, but I have no pain in my teeth
no,
at
no.
all. It's the jaw.
Yeah, it just feel that's what it feels like to me. So, but now it stopped itching.
I
I'm
can't
just
take
trying to
this.
get
It's got to go. Sorry.
like
Changing.
getting my ear to move back through my ear now, which is really strange.
Well,
Have you ever breathed and you can hear the air coming through your ear? Have you ever
no.
Well, I'm doing it right now, and it's really weird because it honestly, it's like, so how is this is so if my allergies get really bad, which they don't happen very often, but they get too bad, this gets clogged, and then when I breathe, like try to breathe out, I can actually hear the air going past my eardrum, so I can
That is
hear the way.
weird.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
that the longer I sit with you, that's what's happening. You know what I mean? So
I
it's almost
had,
like you're not doing this, it's straight here. So you need to get the ear to drain.
all right, drain in the ear.
Yeah, but this
Getting
is really
it.
cool to hear my breathing through my ears. So thank you.
Well, it's funny so I didn't hear, it wasn't like a breathing through my ear, but I did at some point last night hear like a high pitched little something. And it was so brief though. It wasn't anything that lasted for any amount of time.
Right.
So I don't know. So here, you want to hear something super bizarro? I know this
Well,
has nothing to do with tarot cards, but you said that your hands grew, like your one hand is bigger than the other.
yes.
DeEtte, I'm a mutant. I'm a freak of nature. I have grown an entire inch in, I don't know what the time frame was, but I have been 5'4 3/4" my whole life. Like since I stopped growing, I am
Right.
now 5'6".
Damn, girl.
Yeah,
That's
I,
incredible.
it's weird.
That's incredible. Mm. Can I tell you a story that's got way too much information?
Yes, please do.
Way too much information here. When I moved to Hayward, I I had put on some weight, and when the building, burnt down, and I put on a lot of weight, let's be honest, probably about 50 pounds, went into depression and
Yeah.
put on this. Oh, it was horrible. And I was a size D bra, cup size D. I lost 40 pounds. You'd think I'd go to a C. My breast grew to a triple D.
You're supposed to lose that part when you lose the weight, not get bigger.
They got bigger. I'll never forget it because I thought they were bigger, but I was like, "What the hell?" Like, I don't know what's going on. I just couldn't see. I thought maybe it's because I can't see my belly anymore. You know what I mean? I can remember my daughter coming back from New Mexico because that's where she lived at the time, and she hadn't seen me for like 7 or 8 months. And we went to the store shop, and it was Yonkers, which was Boston store, and they're all closed now. But I went to try on something. I took off my coat. She goes, "Holy shit, mom!" And I'm like,
So,
"What?" And she's like, "Where did they come from?" I don't know. So when I had surgery and I lost all this weight, I was terrified I was gonna look like Dolly Parton. I was like,
what's this? DeEtte, what's this?
Dolly Parton.
Dolly Parton hiding behind a tree. It's a joke from my childhood.
It's just I had so much fear though, like, "Oh my god, they're gonna be astronomical."
So, my daughter, this is so funny. I have a similar story. It definitely ain't me. It's not me. So, my daughter, Miss Athlete, always very modest. In her like younger years, it's so funny. Like in her younger years, some little girls get boobs like young, like 8, 9 years old. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
if that would have been Maddie at that age, she would have been like, "Hey, look what I got," just like just how she was. But as she aged, um, just always very modest. And she was the tomboy athlete. Maddie was an athlete. And so she was always stuffed into sports bras. There were never like boobs ever. Like it was just a sports bra. So Maddie comes downstairs one day and she has this cami on, no sports bra. And a girl, I could not take my eyes out of her cleavage. I mean, literally. And I said the same exact thing.
Yeah.
Where did those come from? And so my daughter is a double D and completely hidden. So the same thing, like, girl, there ain't nothing. I mean, you know, she gets her hips and her ass from her mom. She ain't getting boobs. So same thing. I'm like, I mean, my eyes are just like, what?
I know, isn't it? It's insane. It's insane. Oh my God. I blocked somebody I shouldn't have. Oh my God. Todd, I blocked Tim Bear. Can you please unblock him for me? Holy shit, I did it on accident.
What happened?
Oh my God. We had a troll come on and I was blocking her comments and I accidentally blocked a regular user and a friend and a student and a study buddy of mine. And I feel so bad. Oh my
Sorry,
God,
buddy.
I blocked him. And he had just put the comment up. It was so funny because he was like, he's like, you want to watch a real show? He's on the phone with his doctor. And he goes, watch Missy and DeEtte muted.
Watch us muted?
Yeah, she's like, yeah, I only blocked him for 5 minutes.
We have like some like crazy.
He's on the other side going,
ad-libs.
what the hell happened? Where did I go? Oh no. Oh no. That's crazy. Oh, I feel so bad.
Sorry.
Oh my God. Oh my
Sorry
God.
she did that to you.
I'm so sorry.
Jeez, DeEtte.
I have to send him a message and go, oops, I screwed up. Oh my God. I'm gonna tell him I'm just gonna let the world hear me say this message. Hold on. I gotta get this to where I can verbalize it. How do I do this?
Is this on Facebook too?
It
Because
is.
I posted the YouTube link.
I'm like telling him, I am so sorry I blocked you. You'll be back.
Well, it happens. It happens.
I feel so bad. I'm like, I'm sorry I blocked you. You'll be back in 4 minutes. Oh my God. I blocked a troll and I blocked him on top of the troll. I feel, well, the cool thing is the troll is blocked forever. Tim is only 5 minutes. I feel so bad. And
Well,
I feel even worse because he was, when I was talking about the fairy oracle decks, he Googled it for me on Amazon. He's an amazing guy. And he goes, that one is selling on Amazon for $352 now.
you're
My deck.
kidding.
No, my deck.
What?
And he's like, wow, you must be rich. I said, nope, I bought it back when it was $20, but I'm holding on to it for forever now.
I was just going to say, like, I didn't even think that happened.
Yeah. Oh my God. And he's not messaging me back. Oh my God. I feel so bad. Oh my God. I feel so bad. Tim's going to be like, yep, she got rid of me.
He's good.
Oh my God. I know he is, but still, I feel awful. Of all the people I had to block in the world. So we're going to take a quick break, but you want to stay with me and do the weekly reading for me?
With you?
With me
For
or
you?
Or do it. It's just 5 cards. I call it 5 card stud. You know, 5 card stud.
If you want me to.
I want you to, because you know what? Let's give somebody else a take to see if this shit is real or not. But I call it 5 card stud, which is I pull 5 cards. You can pick 1 card, 2 cards, all 5 cards. You can take them individually or as a whole weekly reading. But
do you do oracles or?
I do. Yeah, I usually do oracles, but you do whatever you want. You do whatever you want. Okay, everybody, we're going to take a quick station break here. By the time we get back, Mr. Tim will be back in. This is DeEtte here with Missy on School Through Spirit with WLTK-DB.com. We'll be back in a few. Todd, oh my God. I think Todd's trying to, I'm going to do this really quick.
I'm going to go.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to School Through Spirit on WLTK-DB.com. This is DeEtte, and I am back. Hi, good morning, Miss Sherry. Just so everybody knows, Tim came back saying he is unblocked now. Thank goodness. I felt so horrible. Oh my gosh, um he's just on the phone with somebody. So he is unblocked now. I didn't realize I blocked him. Again, guys, I am so sorry. Oh my God. Person turquoise waving. I love that. I love that. Missy had to step out just for a quick second. She's gonna be back in and she's gonna do the weekly reading. Which I'm super excited about. But what I'm gonna do until she comes back, I'm gonna tell you about the shows we got going on because we have got so many incredible changes. It has been literally just insane. Missy, I'm going to talk about the shows really quick. Oh my God, guys. And I want to let you know, I'm doing an event this week called Spirits in the Spring. It's in Broadhead, Wisconsin. It's at Broadhead Manor, which is the old school, which is really haunted, which is just a really awesome place. And there is so many amazing people, like Patty Negree is coming, Natalie Jones. I'm actually shuttling them back from the airport, and I love them two ladies. So many incredible people. We've got two of the cast members from Haunted 28 Days Haunted being there. I'm going to be there. Tribe 3 Productions from Chicago is coming in. You know what I mean? And I want to do a shout out because I did a short like Facebook Live a week ago because I'm pushing for 10,000 plus followers on that. So I said, you know what? I'm going to start doing readings at that point. You know what I mean? Free readings, on my thing, giving them away. And Tribe 3 Productions literally shared my post. I'm like, oh, that is so cool. I can't wait to meet them. So we got a lot going on there, which is just awesome. So that's this weekend. And I want to let everybody know that's coming to it. If you haven't bought Todd's book yet, which is just an incredible book, I have a book. I literally on his thing, Todd does these free giveaways of his book. I won a book last night because I knew when his birthday was, so I could easily put it in right away. I didn't know if he was Aquarius or Pisces because I knew he was right on the cusp. So I put them both in, and I went Pisces, but I'm spelling it totally wrong. So I won the book, but I only won the book so I could take it with me to the event and give it away to somebody else for a raffle.
How cool is that?
I'm doing a free giveaway of his book so that they could get the hands on with me. And then obviously I'm putting this in a frame so people can do the QRC code and order the book from Amazon right off the bat or from him, whichever. I think this might be from him. I'm not sure, but it's a QRC so they can get it. So they're going to have the live book to look at, which literally I'm going to pull the book out, a thing out of a hat and say, this is who wins the book. There you go, which is cool. But that is going on this week. So that's super awesome. Super excited for that. So there you go. I also want everybody to know I'm doing I'm doing something really special right now. I have a GoFundMe going for a dear friend of mine. Excuse me. And she better not be watching right now. I don't think she is. But we are I'm raising money to help purchase an emotional support dog for her. So it's amazing. It's on you can go on my Facebook site, guys. You can, if I could find it, I would in a heartbeat and put up the link. But I'm going to find the link so I can literally put that up in the comments for people. But we're trying to raise money for her, for this dog, because it's really just going to help save 2 lives, to really bring them together, and just what a union for both of them. So, which I think is just incredible. So with that being said, I am literally going to send this over to Missy to do the 5-card stud of the week. We have fun with us.
All right, 5 cards for the week.
5 cards for the week.
I don't know how you usually do it, but I'm just basically gonna, well, I already had a couple fall, so I still need a couple more. Now, my focus is I'm pulling these kinds of cards. I'm using oracle cards, which I do use as homework. So these are the things that you should be aware of, that you should try to apply to your life, that you should, figure out if you need to do some reflection, see how these things resonate with you. Did you see that one? It literally just flew out. So we're going to take that one.
I love it. As you're shuffling, Tim is back with us. He goes, this is the funniest thing that's happened to me in quite a while. Blocked by DeEtte, her next show.
Well, it's so funny that you said so today. This is so ridiculous. But I woke up to a message on my business page that was just, hang on, let me show you. I'm going to show this to you because it's super bizarre. He says, hi. He says, hi. And then he sends me a picture of a bunch of flip-flops.
I love that.
How are you doing with all of these flip-flops?
I
I
love
blocked
it.
him. I blocked him.
I don't blame you for blocking him.
I have a feeling he was getting ready to like spoof my page again.
Oh my gosh. That's not good. That's not good.
No, it's a pain in the butt.
That is a pain in the butt. Todd took a really cool picture, so I'm going to put it up in the comments. Oh, I need to like shut that voice down. Oh my God, is it going to let me put it in the comments or not? Who knows? Doesn't let me put things in the comments. I'm going to send the picture to Todd and maybe he can put it in the comments. Perfect. Because he is much more adept at that than I am. Todd, I just sent you a picture. If you could put it in the comments, it'd be awesome. It is me and you with Todd's book.
All right. So this, there's definitely a theme here with the 5 cards that I've pulled. And so we actually start out with this movement card that is in the reverse position. So there's a good chance that this week is going to, I don't know, be a little bit slow, or you're needing to move pretty methodically, or, you know, something. And it's really backed up by the next card, which is the slow and steady card. So this kind of your reminder, like if you feel like you're just not getting the gusto or the gumption or the, I don't know, if you feel that you're procrastinating, sometimes that's divine in nature. And so if you're someone who needs to, you might just really need like a kind of a restful week here. And like I said, I would not, this is not a great week. If any of this is resonating with you, it is not a good week to really charge ahead into things. So take things kind of slow and steady, all of that stuff. The focus should be on this wishing well and all of the things that you're wanting. So it could start off with, and this is really cool, DeEtte, honestly, because thinking about your beginning part of the show, you know, before I even came on, and you were talking about how, you know, you had to figure out what you wanted, and you've been in that spot of figuring it out. So that actually comes up with this, you know, so again, slow and steady wins the race here. We have that slower movements, but as things are kind of down, it's a really good time to be asking yourself what it is that you want, or making a wish list or something. I cannot tell you how many people cannot ask the question or answer the question, what do you want? I mean, they don't know. They know that they're not happy where they are, but they're not exactly sure what they want. So it's kind of like, how can you get what you, I don't know. If you can't define what you want, how could you possibly get it? So it's just a very good, you know, time to figure those things out. That again, we're in a theme here. It's followed up by the intentions card. So it is so important that you name your intentions. These egg, I keep on losing my camera. This egg, that's the intention. These are the things that you want to birth. These are the things that you want it to hatch into a new something and all of those things. So it really looks like this is a week of figuring things out, a week of reflection, a week of doing some internal searching, I think, and really make sure that you're connecting in always. Every single time, like I'm going to pull this card back up again. You see here, this is a little mask. There's like a little invisible face there. And so, you know, this is making sure that you're asking the other side to help you as you're naming the things that you want, because you want to make sure that you're being put on a very good path, a path that's good for you, or something that's really going to fill your soul, or maybe, you know, something. Just get help being pointed into the right direction. And then the last card was the goblins card. So the goblins, the goblins are just those little things that are lurking that kind of need to be taken care of. So the goblins is all about taking care of the skeletons in your closet, or those things that you need to face, those bits and pieces about yourself that you need to confront. So it looks like, yeah, it's just a week of getting your shit together, kind of, sort of.
That you know what? I know in my lifetime, my life that makes sense because I know what's happening this coming weekend. So it makes sense for me that I need to get all my ducks in a row. I need to take a breath. What do you want to do? Where do you want to go? Blah, blah, blah. And just kind of before things happen or
Yeah,
potentially.
yeah. Now there was a sixth card,
Oh, I love it.
and it,
You don't know this, but I always pull 6 cards because I always pick an extra card to tie them all together.
well, it's so funny because it's like this really, I don't want to say it's blah, but it's just kind of anytime that we have to confront those inner things about ourselves or figure things out, it can seem kind of tedious and whatever. But you're
Mhm.
definitely being encouraged to do these things right now. So, for whatever reason, like people are just being moved into this space of reflection and figuring things out, figuring out their next steps and moves and directions. And an invitation to kind of slow things down a little bit. And then two, I think like we're right on the heels of summer here, which just does get busy if you're, I know baseball season just started. We're going to be rolling like
What did you say
every,
feels the summer? I woke up to about 3 inches of snow.
no, I didn't really have 3 inches.
I had 80 degrees and sunshine on Saturday, and I was in mucklocks yesterday and snow
Yes,
today. So,
it was in the 70s all week here. We made it into the 80s twice. And now we woke up to a dusting of snow, not inches. And then we'll be back in the 70s on Wednesday.
oh no, I'm freezing all week with snow on throughout the week. Yeah,
Oh no. Boo, Wisconsin.
Wisconsin is irritating the hell out of me. And I'm supposed to have an outdoor photo shoot Friday, Wednesday. I don't know if this is going to work. That's what it
Gonna keep the girls real perky.
was.
Decide to do a full body thing. Full body shot, you'd be perky.
We're going to be frozen.
Be standing at attention. That might be a great photo shoot.
That might be an amazing, amazing photo shoot. It's a whole different fan page, guys. A whole different fan page. And it is like
OnlyFans.
the third time that I have brought up OnlyFans. Maybe I'm supposed to get an OnlyFans account. I don't know what I would do on it, but I kept we had one photo shoot yesterday for a paranormal photo shoot. And we were getting like in this throne and we're having fun. We really were. So I was like in this laid down position on the throne like this. And a guy came up and did this. And I went, oh, OnlyFans shots. we're having, you know what, I will tell you what, one of the best photo shoots you can have is a paranormal one in a haunted location because you're not going to get better scenery. It is so, I mean,
yeah.
literally when you're walking into some place that literally the paint is falling and the ceiling is falling and because it's got the structure of the roof is just it's there. It's safe to be in the building, but it's just got a lot of leaks. So you got this water leaking in places and it's just everywhere. And none of it's staged. It's all just what it is. And you're like, wow. And now
Yeah, it sounds like a whole mood.
it is. Oh my God, Missy, when I get these back, you're gonna be like,
oh, I'll send them. I can't wait to see them.
oh, they are just so what I seen, it was like, and then I did an interview on a Victorian couch. I did 2 interviews on a Victorian couch that is just like the couch is like it's like a cream silky color, but it's got stain, like the age of stains on it and black lacing with just the walls crumbling, just not crumbling, but they appear to be because the paint's coming off of it and just little dolls. I was holding a baby doll that it had like tufts of hair.
Like
oh, it was awesome because I'm not a big doll person, but I picked it up to be cute and it snuggled into me. It was like, oh, thank you. Like it just wanted to be held. I'm like, oh, I held this doll for like a half an hour because it just wanted to be held. I'm like, okay, I'll hold you. I'll hold you. I got you. It was so awesome. It was so
I
awesome.
don't know about creepy haunted dolls. Sorry, chicken.
Well, here, I think I got a picture of it. Let me see if I can show it to you really quick because you're gonna be. I showed it to Todd. He wasn't impressed.
Todd, I doubt I am either.
He was not impressed, but
not impressed. Like he thinks it's creepy. Todd, do you think this is creepy? Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean,
It
girl.
was so precious, though. It really was. It was just, I mean, look at Dad. The baby who just wanted to be held and loved.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Hmm.
Worse things. I want to show you this other picture too, if I can find it.
Creepy
It was,
dolls. I don't know about creepy dolls.
it wasn't creepy.
It looks creepy.
This, I don't know how much of this picture you can see or if you can tell what it is, but it's a long, like, schoolhouse mirror in a
Okay,
bathroom
now that you say that, I can see it.
with all of the paint coming off around it.
Mm-hmm.
There's 5 of us. Let me see if I can bring it up wide enough. There's 5 of us looking in the mirror back at each other.
Oh, that's cool.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, that is cool. That's a cool pic.
Isn't it though? This is so awesome. I love it. We are having so much fun. I mean, that's what I'm talking about. Just the building kind of falling down around it is awesome. So yes, you need to go do a paranormal like shoot. It's like so cool.
Girl, guilty confession, the paranormal stuff has just never been. I'm a chicken.
I was too.
I am a chicken, so that's not typically my thing because I poop. I mean, it's just not like I don't know. I don't know. Like, I want to talk to your grandma.
Yeah.
I want to talk to, but like things that are yuck and scary and stuff. Well, yeah.
I'll tell you what, it was never my mojo either. I was always like, I had this saying, and I was firm in it. I talk to dead people. I don't want dead people going boo. There's a line.
There's a big difference. I have been psychically attacked a few times.
Mm-hmm.
Thank God not many, but man, it was just bad news. And it wasn't even in a situation like that. It was just before a reading and it got me good. And it was bad. And
Yeah.
so like, I don't know. That's not my, I don't know if I'm built for that kind of stuff.
I never thought I was, and I kind of walked into it going, "Holy crap!" Like it's not a world I ever thought I'd be in. But I will tell you what, so far I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I really have.
So I'll never say never and
Yeah,
just see.
yeah. I mean, I even work for the Warren Legacy Foundation. I remote view for them. I won't go into their places because they get some really hardcore cases. I'm like, nope, not going there.
Right.
Not going there. But I will remote view it I will tell you what's going on.
Now, remote viewing, I do that for people for sure
So
for those situations. And then I usually refer them to the people that can actually help.
Exactly. But I mean, I have a lot of fun going. I won't even lie because you know what, to go in and a lot of times people don't realize a lot of times a paranormal haunted location is really it might be grandpa that's just really upset, or it might be a lot of times that's what people don't realize is it's like we're so worried about the demon, and that was my thing, like these ooey gooey scary things.
Right.
And a lot of times I've gone in and they're souls that chose not to cross over. They've passed, they've chose for whatever reason, and they all have their own reason to not cross. You know what I mean? And you're talking to them, you're giving them some peace, and I'm like, wow, what better thing to do than to give this soul that for whatever reason has this fear or does not want to cross a little bit of peace, give their story, help the people that of the living to sit there and to coexist together. So
Sure.
no longer a scary thing, but it's a coexistence to say this was their home first. They're not going anywhere.
Well, and
But
that's where like
not to terrorize you,
I've always wondered on the interpretation that they've not crossed over. I've personally wondered, and I don't know the answer to this, but I've wondered if I've noticed dead people are very nosy. And so especially like when you're dealing with a home situation like that, and it's like, oh, there's new people in my house, I'm going to visit. So I've always kind of had it in my head that dead people can come and go. It doesn't mean that they're there all the time.
Yep.
So I don't even know that means that they didn't cross over. I just think, I mean, I got wrapped in. So I had a lady that I knew who reached out, whose son, really little guy, 3-4 years old, was seeing the burnt man, he would call him, and he was petrified. This guy was scaring the crap out of this little kid, and he would see like the burnt man. So he would see a burning man. It was horrible. And so I agreed to go over there. And when I got there, it was a person, like you said. So it was a dead person. It wasn't like a demon or something horrible. But in the interaction, I knew I was not going to be able to get rid of him. I mean, and it was very much like he was telling me what I wanted to hear in a sense. And I knew that I wasn't going to be able to make him go. And he came and left as he pleased, basically. But we did look into the history of the area. It was very close to railroad tracks, which I do find to be usually, now I have very limited experience with the paranormal, but I have seen, like, I swear they ride the rails. Like almost every single thing that I've done, I swear they like ride the rails and they visit those like spots. Todd, you're going to have to fill me in on this when you're done. Have you ever noticed this? They ride the rails, but there was in fact a fire and on this particular railroad track, like miles down the road, and a man did burn to death.
Wow.
So we could at least, and he did have like this trickster kind of a spirit to him. So I don't think he was totally meaning to scare the crap out of the kid, but.
Oh yeah. I always kind of look at it like, you know, that show, The Ghost Whisperer, you know, where in the very beginning of the show, they come up as burning or dripping gore or whatever, how they pass, because honestly, they didn't, you know, it was their inner struggle coming out. Like, oh my God, you know, that was really kind of how the show kind of showed itself. But as she would talk to, was it Melinda? I think is her name, would talk to them. You know what I mean? And by the end of the show, when she was finally given that message, they were no longer this tortured soul. They were a person that had peace, and they were ready to cross over now. So that's how I see it. I see it, that spirit that's being a trickster, that spirit that is, you know, presenting itself in a way that you're going, oh my God, what is this? I just need to talk to it. I need to understand it. You know what I mean? I need to help them be understood, because literally when they get to that point of being able to give their message, they still may not choose to cross, you know, because it's I can't force them to go by any means. I wouldn't even try. I wouldn't even, unless they went, can you help? I'm not even going to offer the service. You know what I mean?
Right.
If they want it, they'll ask, you know, but it's pretty amazing what can really happen then. And then to watch them coexist, it's just, to see the healing is incredible, you know?
Yeah, I've never successfully crossed anyone over. Like I said, I kind of have theories working on that. I don't know that the ones that I've interacted with are not actually crossed over. I've really thought that, and that they just kind of come and go.
Yep.
And I don't know how that works. Maybe that's totally batshit crazy wrong, but I really have wondered, you know?
I have this theory that when I die, I'm going to find Jesus and I'm going to, hey, we need to talk. Sit.
I have so many questions.
Fill me in. I'm only listening to you because everybody else hears drama and speculation, and I need to hear it from the mouth of the horse. So let's have a conversation.
Yeah.
And I feel free to have him come before I die, to have the conversation ahead of time, so I have a better understanding. But if he doesn't show up in the next like 40 years, we're going to have the conversation when I get there.
Yeah. We'll see you then. Jesus.
We'll
I got a
see
lot
you
of questions.
Well, Missy, thank you so much. Do you have a website these days? I'm looking.
DeEtte, I
I
still
don't.
know. So I dumped everything. I got rid of my office. I got rid of my website. I got rid of everything and just really started backing off. Well, not really. I mean, I'm still working and, you know, stuff, but I've got a lot of irons and a lot of fires right now. Exciting things come in. So I'm still teaching and doing readings and all that stuff.
Right.
But
Well,
ironically, you would think that the website would have slowed me down a little, and it really hasn't. So,
I got your Facebook site up there, so people can find you there. You can go to Missy Hart, a medium Missy Hart, on Facebook, which I've got the link up on the thing, and you will see on there she has got her Gmail account, and there's lots of ways to get a hold of Missy, including watch her in her lives because they're frippin' amazing. And you never know if you're going to get readings or if you're going to get philosophy, but it's always awesome, you know. And this is Missy in a nutshell. And I cannot wait to have you back on again. I used to have you on like every 2 months.
I know. We'll get a hold of me and we'll do.
We'll do. Missy is a rock star. I love Missy, guys. We go back now. Oh my God. 7 years.
Has it really been 7?
7 years this October.
It is so funny. So they're totally doing, not too far from me, they are doing the Howl at the Moon dueling pianos at like the Majestic Theater, which is 10 miles from here. I'm like, I think I'm gonna go to that. That'd be so much fun.
You should.
It'll bring me back to like San Antonio.
Yeah, and I didn't go to that. I was at the Granger. I was walking the streets at night. You guys were at dueling piano, and I was walking the streets of San Antonio because the energy was like.
Yeah, so. I vacationed there for 2 weeks before everything, so I had done all that. It was really cool. What a great experience and trip.
Yeah,
it just was.
It was a great trip. I can't wait to go back. But it has been 7 years, and I'm looking forward to the next 27 years with you. So you cannot get rid of me.
Sweet DeEtte. It was great to see you, doll.
You too, my dear. Everybody else, this has been a great week. I will see you next week here. Oh my God, I got to tell you really quick who the guest is because I need to do that. Maria Yates will be on next week, guys. We had to cancel her a couple of weeks ago due to she had some technical issues, and she's coming back on next week. So everybody else, I'll see you in a week. This is DeEtte here on School Through Spirit with WLTK-DB.com. Have a great day, guys.
The truth is here and now on WLTK-DB Talk Radio at WLTK-DB.com.